can and will happen. So pretty exciting stuff. I'm very glad you're all here. As you can see, I'm growing my hair out. It's doing very nice, trying to keep it very neat while I do. So pretty good there. So we have a really fun show for you tonight, and it's basically all about Grail Fountain Pens. And where my perspective is on this is that many of us, we imagine all these pens that are sort of the pens of our dreams, and we assume that they're going to make us very happy once we get them. But that's not necessarily the case, right? Sometimes you get a Grail pen and you have a sense of, is that it? Is that enough? Is there something else? Am I missing something? Sometimes it's outright disappointment where you get a certain pen and you ask yourself, is this really all that pen is or was? So what I thought I would do is kind of talk about my personal experience. I brought out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 actually. 8 of my Grail pens, which, by the way, when you say 8 Grail pens, in a sense, that's already somewhat oxymoronic, if you will, because how many Grail pens can you really have, right? I mean, it's like, I want to kind of show you what I've been carrying around with me, but I kind of feel like when you get to 8 Grail pens, then maybe you need to reclassify what's a Grail. A Grail shouldn't be that easy to come by, but I do want to share what I'm carrying on my person these days, what I'm carrying to work, what I'm carrying around even at home. So a lot of these are for the channel. This incredibly exquisitely gorgeous fountain pen with the W pattern on the cap. Has that given it away? The W pattern on the cap? Well, maybe it should. This is a Waterman. It's an opera series. You can see you have a W here, lots of W's here, and a W on the nib too. So I have a lot of theories about this pen, a lot of thoughts. But I will say aesthetically, it's gorgeous. I mean, it is an absolutely beautiful fountain pen. Just worthy of any position on your desk. And of course, this particular one's about $293 US, but you can get these for around 175. So soon you shall see a video on this pen. But what I like to do is I like to live with it for a few weeks before I record with it. I've been carrying this one for a while now. I have a lot of thoughts and a lot of theories. Okay. So let me show you some other pens I've been carrying around. There's this one too. This is a Schaefer Legacy. It's not the vintage one, it's the modern one with an inlaid nib. I already have some questions about that. I have some thoughts on this pen, some things that will astound you. This is a rather plain pen. The styling that they use for this is rather plain. Wouldn't you agree? Sort of black with some silver accents. Not ugly by any chance, just, a bit on the plain side. And plus, they only put this out with a medium nib. I do hear they're coming out with a fine. I would imagine it's a very tough nib to produce. I'm going to give them some leeway there. But this is also in my pen case right now. My pen case, of course, is the extended Lockbee Quattro, which I had a hand in developing because I asked them to extend it and they were kind and they did, and now they sell it that way. So kind of neat to have my opinions be heard Well, look what we have here. Look at this amazingly gorgeous pen. It's a very nice fountain pen. This is the Schaefer Legacy from 20 years ago that has seen a lot of life. This pen has the beautiful shiny palladium coating. It's ribbed, I suppose you could call it, or fluted. I like fluted. That's what we call columns that are a bit concave. But very pretty pen. Posts magnificently if you want to post. Otherwise, you don't have to post it. I've historically posted this pen. So, you know, it is what it is. But absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful nib on this one. 18 karat gold. By the way, you see that bit of green there? That's Darth Lilac. It turns your pens funky colors. And then I put in Edelstein's topaz, shining topaz. I forget the name of it. So it needs a good cleaning. And then lastly, another Grail pen that needs to take its place amongst the Grails, and I'll talk more about it later. But this is a pen that hasn't been on the channel in a while. It came out because I was filming with it, and then I got attached to it, as is often the case. But we'll talk a bit more about this as I discuss my fountain pen Grail journey, how I progressed chasing Grails, and what it meant to me, which ones I bonded with, and which ones I didn't. So we will talk about that in a moment. There's a few things I want to mention, not the least of which is a channel note. A channel note. So get your calendars out and mark this date on your calendar. February 16th. It's a Monday. 4 p.m. I will be a guest on the Juicy Broads Pen podcast with Vanessa and Lori. They very kindly invited me on. I'm really excited and honored to be asked to be on their show. It's always fun to visit someone else's show and have a nice conversation and get some perspective, and hopefully I can make things interesting for them too, and we'll have a nice chat. I imagine they didn't give me a format, so I'm not sure if we're doing anything specific, but normally when you meet other YouTubers that make fountain pen content, you talk about your pens, your collections, what you like, what you don't like. I know Vanessa has quite the collection. I talked to her on Instagram, had a nice little chat over the last couple weeks, which is really nice. She's very nice. So kind of psyched to meet Lori too. She actually lives close enough to me that I could probably ride my bike there. And I mean, I could probably go in the studio, or she could go in mine. Like, that's how close we live, which is kind of fascinating, isn't it? That you'd have two YouTube fountain pen creators that literally are neighbors. But we are. So it's exciting. Can't tell you specifically where, though. I actually don't know exactly where she lives, but I have a pretty good sense of it. So I'm pretty excited. I see some people are thinking of questions. I like questions. I always entertain questions. The harder, the better. So thank you for that. I also want to mention a few things about videos. So a couple weeks ago, I did a video on the story behind Frankenstein and the manuscript, what led the inspiration for Mary Shelley to write Frankenstein, how it was created, the global catastrophe that actually was a big factor in the creation of that story. And then I show the manuscript and I tell you how you could own a copy of Mary Shelley's original manuscript if you'd like. And had a blast with that. That's still out there. Not many of you watched it. Breaks my heart a little, I'll be honest. It's maybe the best video I've ever produced, which is why nobody watches these things, because you guys tend to not like the stuff that I like. I'm a terrible judge of what I think you guys are going to like, but I keep making interesting, varied videos, and you do seem to like more than you don't like, generally. But I don't know why you don't like Frankenstein. It's a pretty good video. I think you'd really, really enjoy it. So the other one is, I see a good question here. I got a little distracted. Fountain pen news. I've been considered selling my M1000 and my Visconti Bronze Age. We're going to talk about both those pens tonight. I don't know if that's a factor, but yeah, I have some opinions on both of those pens that I will be sharing presently. So thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Okay, so the fountain pen of a psychopath continues to do very, very well. And I appreciate that, and thank you. I can't be too upset that nobody likes Frankenstein when you guys really like the other video that I didn't think you would like. So I'm happy about that. I really am. And I do see some love out there. Damn it, Mother liked the Frankenstein video. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I should also mention that last week I put up a video journaling secrets of Anthony Bourdain. You guys seem to really like that. I appreciate it. One thing that held that video back, which I didn't consider, is that people outside the United States have no idea who Anthony Bourdain is, which I didn't think of. I'm a very United States of American centric person. It never occurred to me. I just figured that CNN must go around the world and everyone knew who Anthony Bourdain was. But a lot of you didn't, but he's an interesting fellow who had some great things to say about writing. And I will be doing more in that series. I did Journaling Secrets of Ernest Hemingway back in summer. And now I did Anthony Bourdain, and I have another one in mind. I might record this weekend, and it would air in April at this point. My videos are now posting into April. So it's a writer. It's someone that almost everyone likes, and a lot of his books have been adapted into films, and some of those films have won Oscars. And he is a fountain pen writer himself. So feel free to speculate, but that's what I'm thinking of doing. So I hope you'll enjoy that when it comes out. HJ, Frankenstein video was superb. I agree, it's one of your best, says Tony Benz. Thank you, Tony. I agree too. Thank you. I really worked hard on it, but nobody watched it. So if I went by that alone, I'd be heartbroken. I'd never post another video. But I do appreciate you liking it, and Turtle Whiskers 2 liking it. I do appreciate the love. Thank you, guys. This week on Thursday is a very shocking video. When I made it, I was shocked. I shocked myself. And the reason is, this is my top 5 favorite fountain pens. And it's like no other top 5 list I've ever done. I threw out my normal top 5 rationale and all that, and I really stripped it down to its most honest essence, to what I really love and believe and am passionate about. And what are those 5 pens? No posturing, tried to take sentimentality out of it too. Sometimes pens score higher when my wife buys them for me. I tried to remove all that, strip it down. These are my top 5 fountain pens, and I am super psyched to release that this Thursday at noon. So I hope you'll enjoy it. And then lastly, next week, a brilliant video. You're going to love it. I sound so immodest, but it's my top 5 choices of gold nibs for around $200, and why you need these, and maybe you don't need to spend money on some of what I'm going to show you this evening. because some of what's available around that price tag, although, you know, with inflation, I recorded it 2 months ago, you know, maybe I should have done it under $300. But nevertheless, it will be very informative and might open your eyes to some possibilities. Some great value, some excellent gold nib fountain pens available for around that price. So that's next week. All righty. I have a super chat. I always read the super chats and do my best to pronounce their names. So who do we have? Oh, it's a Cohen, my friend. How are you? It's like I love him. Tesla driver, watches my videos while his Tesla takes him home. I just wrote you a letter, my friend. He sends $9.99. He says, your Frankenstein and Bourdain videos were so lovely. Made me watch Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein and no reservations again. I am so glad. Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate it. You're already adding so much to this channel, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for your kindness. So let's introduce one of my Grail pens, shall we? Ah, I got another super chat, and then I will show you my first, in order. This one actually is the first Grail pen I ever owned. Anybody in the comments, or on even in the chat, I mean, or the comments, try to guess what my first Grail pen was? Very first one? I've said it many times on this channel, but you may have missed it. All right, David Pearsons, lovely guy, one of my favorite people, so lovely. $5, my friend. I unexpectedly got a Grail pen Saturday. I traded 2 Montblancs and some money for a white Montblanc Maison Porcelain 146. Ooh, it's beyond rare and it's true masterpiece. That sounds brilliant. If you wouldn't mind, would you please send me a photo? I would love to see that. You know my email address, but I'll tell you if you don't, because, hey, it's public knowledge. HemingwayJones@iCloud.com. I would love to see that photo, so please send it along. And thank you for your generosity in keeping the lights on. I wish it would keep the sound on, but the sound has died, and I'm very sad about that. But we shall endeavor and keep moving through. Let me see if there's any guesses as to what my first Grail fountain pen was. I don't see anyone guessing. Oh no, somebody did. Okay, fantastic. Anita Paul says Pilot 823. Excellent guess. That is not correct though. I do apologize, but it's just not. Okay. I think that's the only one. All right, you guys aren't in the mood to guess. That's okay. I don't make you participate. I won't call on you in the back of the class. Oh, boy. That would be rude. So I won't do that. David Pearson says Egyptomania. No, excellent guess. It was not my first Grail pen. I bought my first Grail pen 20 years ago, guys. And then my second one around 12 years ago. So Richard with a great guess. Also wrong, but an excellent guess, Richard, with the Montblanc 149. A brilliant, brilliant guess, but sadly not. But I do appreciate it. Okay. I will show you what it is. And then you'll go, oh, of course. He said that a million times. It's this, guys. All right. You guys know what this is, right? You've seen this. No? I'm hearing nothing. So people, maybe you guys don't know what this is. Let me point out some details for you. The most obvious thing about this Grail pen is this patterned. I might actually try another light. I think this light's a little cold. Do you see that? There we go. That warms it up a little bit. Do you see the difference? For showing pens, I just turned on the desk light and it gives a little bit more of a warm glow. But do you see there's like flecks in there? So this is Chinese lacquer. It's a decorative technique where it's layered on and then dries and then layered and dries. And it takes a long time to make one of these. So it's built up in layers and then it's shiny. And then on the top, you have a ruby cabochon. Cabochon. So whenever you see a cabochon on something, where your mind should go is here. See that? That's a sapphire cabochon. That's a ruby cabochon. This is from the great house of Cartier. This has a C on the clip. What could it mean? Well, I'll tell you a little story. I was a much younger man. I was probably in my mid-30s, and I was still very much learning about fountain pens and kind of lusting after a nicer pen. And in those days, even non-fountain pen people were really into Montblancs, and some of the folks around me were a little obnoxious about it. So I went into, I believe it was called, and someone, if you know, in the comments or in the chat, Pen Paradise, I believe it was called, in the Burlington Mall in Burlington, Massachusetts. It was at the top of the escalators, Pen Paradise, I think it was. And it was a very good shop, and they were very nice people. And there was a chap in there who had this pen, and he was like, this is a Cartier Diablo. Everyone likes the Montblanc, but I like this because it's different, and it writes fantastic, and it's just decorative and beautiful. And I was like, you know, it is a really pretty pen. He let me hold it. I'm like, it's kind of heavy, to be honest, but it's very pretty. And I asked him how much it was, and this was like 20 years ago, and it was, if memory serves, it was like $1,000. Now, feel free to correct me, you know, memory doesn't always serve, you know, but it was like $1,000. And I didn't have that kind of disposable income, but it became this sort of object of desire. Okay, stay tuned. I have to recognize a super chat from the lovely Rick Harsh. Rick Harsh, who's been here a long time with me. Rick, lovely to see you. Got back from Mexico this week, 7 days, journaled every day. Have a small printed, glued picture in along other things, lots of writing. I am so glad, my friend. I love when I hear you guys taking your pens and your journals out into the world, getting sun, salt air, maybe a little Corona spilled on them. This is good. So Alan is telling me it is Paradise Pens. Yes, Paradise Pens. That's what I said, right? Or did I say Pen Paradise? I don't know. I think I said Paradise Pens. So I saw this and I lusted for it because it is gorgeous and it's different. Look at this yellow gold, this beautiful treatment. Open it up. The one thing I'll say is the nib is curiously small. So it's a bit of an undersized nib. It also certainly looks like it's made by Montblanc. I'm pretty sure the pen guts of this are made by Montblanc. But it's decorated by Cartier, and you know what? That's good enough for me. Has a converter. It's not a piston fill for all that money. Converter feels kind of okay. Not super great. Kind of okay. Kind of feels like I could crush it with my hand, but it's still better than most of what's out there now. My new thing is how bad converters are. But brass-based pen, threads, screws on. So the story behind this one was I really wanted it. I thought it was cool. It was different. I walked into Leavenger one day. Leavenger in the Prudential Center. Or was it Copley? It was the Prudential Center. Leavenger, yep, over by where Barnes & Noble used to be. And I went in there and I looked at their pens and I saw they were having this crazy sale. And I asked the salesman, why is everything so cheap? And he said, well, corporates decided to get rid of every pen except for their, I think it's like True Writer series or whatever. They have their own pen brand. And they decided to get rid of all non-Leavenger pens at that time. The the question is it a gold nib? Oh, yes. Oh, yes, it is a gold nib. And it has Cartier C's on it. It's a beautiful, I wish I could show you, but sadly, Ecamm is kind of garbage and I can't focus too small. This will come up in a video soon, so don't worry. You'll get some close-ups. And if you search my channel, I have done other videos on the Cartier Diablo. So, yes, gold nib, very Montblanc. So I went in the leavenger. It was $1,000. It was 80% off. It was $200. $200. And the irony is that when I bought it, I bought another pen the same day at an extreme discount. And that was this, the Schaefer Legacy. I bought these two on the same day. And that was a lot of money to me at the time. But there was no way I was walking away from a Cartier Diablo for $200. That was not going to happen. So I bought it, and I still have the box. I still have everything that came with it, including the cartridge, the original cartridge, because I never used it. It's probably dry or something now, but I still have it. And then I got this too. This was pretty expensive. I think this was around $300, if I remember. And it was something off of that. I don't think it was as drastic as this one. I mean, I don't know why the salespeople didn't grab this, but I'm really glad they didn't. It was the bargain of my life. That and one of my Montblancs, my 149 I got last summer in Paris. So, Cartier, my first Grail pen about 20 years ago. Did it give me happiness? I think that's the important point of tonight. I'm going to tell you. But first, I do want to recognize the lovely Paul Thomas with a £9.99 super chat. Thank you. Bought my first Grail pen, Monte Grappa, from Paradise Pen Company in mall in the Orlando. Great shop, sadly missed. Yeah, I agree. It was a great shop. Thanks so much for the super chat and helping to keep the lights on. I appreciate it. Thank you. Do you remember what pen that was? Like which Monte Grappa? Be curious to know. Fantastic. Okay, the lovely Mary Madden. Hi, Mary. How are you? Always a pleasure to hear from you. $9.99 super chat. I've owned a Montblanc 144 fountain pen rollerball set from 1980s. Fantastic. Advertised for a woman's hand. It's too slim. Never really liked it or used either, HJ. We like whatever video you make. Thank you. You're very kind. Very kind. I actually love the 144. I don't have one, but I like slim, slender pens. So, I don't know. Hold on to it. Maybe your taste will change over time. For me, the pendulum swings between fatter and thinner pens. But I love that pen, Mary. That's a strong pen. So good on you. And it's so cool to have it for almost 50 years now, right? So, yes. Anyway. Oh, Hazel. I love Hazel. Hazel's a wealth of knowledge about my own channel. You should be my historian. Thank you, Hazel. The Diablo stars in the Quiet Luxury video from a while back. Yes, that was, I think last May or June-ish. The top 5 fountain pens for Quiet Luxury. And yes, the Cartier Diablo featured highly. Where did I put it? Where did I put it, guys? Did I put it in here? All of a sudden, I didn't have it. Yes, I put it in here. Oh, there was a different pen in here. I'm like, how did it fit? Okay. Anyway, so did this make me happy? This fountain pen isn't one where I thought to myself, this is the be-all, end of all my fountain pens. I don't need to buy another one. By the way, posting this is not a good idea. You could scratch it. I don't post it. It's beautifully decorated though, but this was almost like delayed gratification. I bought it and it wasn't as great as I'd hoped, even though I recognized it as a beautiful thing coming from the House of Cartier. I wore it occasionally. It weighs heavy on your pocket. It's a heavy pen. I wish I had my scale. I probably say in the Quiet Luxury video, but I would guess this is at least 45 grams. That's what I'm feeling. Don't quote me unless I actually measure it, but it does feel rather substantial. So this was a delayed gratification. Now that I have other things from Cartier, including my tank, which I adore. I love this watch so much. It's automatic. It's got beautiful face, and I love that it looks like a little grandfather clock. It's so nice, and they're fun to kind of photograph together. But no, this didn't change my writing or my life or anything else, but I do love it, and it's very smooth. It's a fantastic pen. I could probably speak the whole hour about this pen, but I better move on because we only have so much time, ladies and gentlemen. Now let me show you my second Grail pen. I bet you all know this one. I'm sure you have all seen it before. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. The gorgeous Montblanc 149. Yes. This is the one from Paris, I believe. Yes, this is the one from Paris. So this is the one I bought last summer for, I think it was like $650 because it was on sale. Paris only has sales twice a year, and they actually put this on sale at a department store. Was it Bon Marché in Paris? And I couldn't resist it. So I bought it. It's very shiny. But the one that was my second is my medium that I've had for like 11 or so years. So let me recognize a lovely super chat from the lovely John Thatamanil. $10. Thank you so much. I got a great deal on a Pelikan M1000. Strong pen. But when it arrived, it dragged on the page. It felt sticky. I sent it back to Apple Boom. And it was repaired. Fantastic. Now it's an absolute dream. Grail dream realized. Thank you so much for the generous support to the channel, and I'm glad you got that sorted. I love Pelikans. That's a great pen. Fantastic. Okay. Thank you. This is, of course, the Montblanc 149. This one's in fine. The medium is the one I've had for a long time. This one has made an impact on me. The first one was a gift from my wife. So Helen bought me the medium through an online store. Hey, by the way, it's glowing a little red, which is kind of neat. From an online store. Ooh, interesting. For $600. That was like 12 years ago. They are almost double that now. These are like $1,100. Do I recommend it now at $1,100? Harder to be honest. I would say buy it secondhand. You can still get these for $500. You can certainly get them for $6, but be patient. You'll get one for $5. Fantastic pen. This one made a big impact. This one was virtually my only fountain pen for around 4 years. It was the only one that I used when I journaled, when I went to work, everything. I only filled it with Montblanc Royal Blue for like a decade. And then the first non-royal blue ink I put in it was Yamabudo, which I famously put on TikTok because it got 4.5 million views, that TikTok, which is crazy. But when I refilled it, I finally put Yamabudo in there. And for some reason, it just took off on TikTok, as things do. But this pen is and was an all-consuming fountain pen. It's certainly high on my list of the only pen I need, the one pen to rule them all. My Connor McLeod pen, there can be only one. This could be the only one if all my other pens lost their heads. But actually, now that I look over there, there are some strong contenders. So I don't want to wax too poetic on this for too long, but let me just say that in price for satisfaction and use, I definitely got my use out of this pen. I loved it enough to buy it in a different width, although the fine one was scratchy and had some hard starts, and Kirk Spear fixed it for me. The medium's been perfect since the day I bought it. So a very brilliant pen. I do like it. I do think it's too much money now, and I think their QC is wonky. But look, shiny, piano black, shiny, obsidian, polished obsidian. Beautiful pen. However, I do have some others to share with you. It was early in my fountain pen career as a YouTuber when I decided to take a chance on a pen I had only heard about. And when I first heard about it, people were saying, well, the filling mechanism is a bit weird, but it's almost as good as some of the other higher end pilots. And of course, I'm speaking of the Pilot Custom 823 with its piston style ink sucking mechanism. Are you familiar with that term? Piston style ink sucking mechanism is how they characterize this fill system. I've made a lot of videos about this pen. I talk about it a lot. It ends up on a lot of lists. I celebrated its 25th anniversary last year, which Pilot didn't even celebrate, but I did. Bad on you, Pilot. Bad, bad, bad. It's a milestone. You should have had a special edition. I do want to say some things about it now. Yes, it's true. You could only buy this pen and be done. This is a pen that I truly believe once you buy this, you can buy other fountain pens, but you don't have to. Now, what's interesting about it, and I don't think I make enough about this, but I'm going to right now. Most vac fills are really thick beasts, usually thick in the middle to accommodate the thrust of the piston. This elegant, incredibly designed piston style ink sucking mechanism does not take up an obnoxious amount of space, bloating the center inelegantly, causing a huge protrusion right as it meets the section. No, this remains elegant, sleek, refined. I don't make enough about that. You're going to hear that more when I speak about this pen. Another thing is, it has a blue feed, like bluish gray. Anytime you make a feed that has a color, I'm in. I'm delighted. And each side is brown. It frames the color nicely. I will say, and I think I've mentioned this on the show last week or the week before, were it opaque, I feel like it would feel more luxurious. These go for $416 now. What I am proposing, Pilot, are you listening? Pilot, can you do me a favor? What I'd really love, make this with urushi. Can you do that? Imagine that. It would be like, I know that it's based on the years. How many years from the founding of Pilot is how they come up with their designations for customs. But isn't it time for a new custom? And a Pilot Custom Urushi. What about a Pilot Custom Urushi ink, piston style ink sucking mechanism? Isn't it about time we get that? So anyway, wouldn't that be rich? So I bought this. Does it give me happiness? Oh, yes. But did it satisfy me? No, it didn't. It should have. It could. This is as good as it gets. You can buy other pens. They're not necessarily better. But this is an absolutely brilliant pen. It didn't satisfy me, though. Let's be honest. I have to be honest. I'm honest with you guys. It's what makes this channel so vital. We tell it as it is. I have a bunch more pens to get through, and I'm already running out of time, which is insane. But I do want to mention that if you've made it to this point, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I love having you along. I promise I'll entertain you. And I think you enjoy this style of video, so I really would appreciate it. If you're watching now, just please hit subscribe. I really appreciate it. And if you want to help the channel more, consider becoming a member. We have a pen pal group for Illuminati and Cognoscenti members. There's a join button down there. Consider it. Even ambassadors are awesome too. I appreciate the support. It helps to keep me motivated. It really does. Okay, let's talk about some other pens, shall we? Now that I've done my commercial. There may be one pen that rules them all. The ultimate grail, ladies and gentlemen. Need I even say its name? Look at how it glows. Almost like it has its own supernatural luminance from this double barrel. This is 2 barrels. That's what gives it this ability to sort of hold the light. Brushed gold cap. Brilliantly made. The engineering in this is superb. Very elegant cap latches, a beautiful inlaid nib, wraps around, very sleek, mid-century Art Deco. Sadly, it's a converter, but it's a blue converter with a blue knob. Brilliantly done. The gold all matches. Everything is top notch on this superb fountain pen. This is the glorious, the amazing Waterman Edson. Yes, the Edson. The one and only gorgeous Edson. The Edson that had you been in Washington at the DC Fountain Pen Show, you could have heard me speaking to all my friends that were there, John Manuel among others. We kept, Kurt was there. We were like, do I buy it? What do I do? I was obsessing. There might be something else. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. I kept going back. Had to have it. Had to have it. And I have some Grail pens at home. Most of my Grails, my other expensive pens, are in my safe deposit box. This one is always around me. Often in my pen case. I'm taking a forced hiatus from it right now because I need to try other pens. But you know it's back on the channel soon. I don't know when, but I'm sure soon. Is it one of my top 5 favorites? Coming this Thursday. My video is my top 5 favorites. Is my Waterman Edson one of them? To be honest, I filmed that so long ago, I forget. But I can't imagine that the Waterman Edson didn't make the top 5. It's got to be on there. But to be honest, I don't remember specifically. Sometimes I need to watch my own videos before they come out so I can answer your questions. Because people ask, what ink was that? And I'm like, I don't remember. That was 2 months ago. So, yes, Waterman Edson, an absolute legend, like a man. $10 super chat, thank you. Just got my tax refund. Time to help with the lights. Just bought a Waterman Karen. Your fault. Hey, Leica, my friend. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. You're gonna like the Karen. That's a great pen. I wish you a lot of luck. Thank you for your generous support. I appreciate it. So I bought this from Truffet, and I bought it in a two-for package. I bought this with the Montblanc Around the World in 80 Days fountain pen, which I made a fun video on the book. I barely look at that pen. I should probably sell that one now. But this one could be my only pen. I adore this. This Grail purchase made me happy. This is one of my desert island pens. It's just that special, and it writes superbly. It earns its rarity. It earns its status. It doesn't rest on its laurels. It's brilliant. It has ceaseless flow. Absolutely gorgeous. Love it. Okay. I did promise this one. So this one probably doesn't feel like a Grail because I took such a weird chance with this. And a lot of you may have seen this, but it was probably a year and a half ago. But there was a seller on eBay that was selling these for around $350. This is the Pelikan M1000. And I was thinking, it can't possibly be real. It can't be real. But it sure looked real. And I know a lot of you got one because people were telling me, get it, it's real. And I'm like, it can't be. And yeah, it's real. I know a Pelikan from, not. and it's very, very real. And it was the deal of the century. It must have fallen off a truck driving by Sattarelli's, and Tony's crew grabbed it and put them up on YouTube. So in a way, it doesn't feel like a Grail because it was so affordable, but it is every inch a Grail pen. It has a very interesting nib. So interesting, in fact, that the only one that's similar is the Pilot Custom Urushi. Has the same kind of softness that this does. I love this fountain pen, but I probably don't use it as much as I should or could. Even though I adore it, I think it's a masterpiece. In many ways, I think it's better than the 149. It certainly has a more interesting design. It has a more interesting nib. I still prefer the 149 over it, though, to be honest. But this is a stupendous fountain pen. I've done many videos on it, Pelikan or Pelikant, most recently. And I did one on the M1000 versus the M800. Very, very good pen. A Chiro fake name got King of Pen off of Amazon for $3.83. Yeah, see, these things can happen. It's crazy. You just have to be looking for it. So this is good. Didn't exactly set my world on fire. All right, we're going to have to really go through some quickly because I feel my voice already giving in. We showed this one earlier. Visconti Homo sapiens Bronze Age. My wife brought me this from Atlas Stationers on her own for Christmas a few years back. Fantastic fountain pen, great writer. We all know that the QC on Visconti is complete rubbish. But if you go to a nice pen seller like Brandon Schmidt, who we love, he'll check it for you before it leaves his store. This is very interesting. The resin is really interesting. The clip, the design, the power fill system, all fantastic, beautifully tactile. Interesting. This is coming up on the channel soon. I just filmed it again. I never really bonded with this pen, to be honest. I feel kind of bad. I hope my wife isn't watching. I love you, honey, and I appreciate you buying this for me. And I'm glad I own it. I've done so many videos on it. I'd never part with it. And there are times when I use it. I brought it to work today and I didn't use it. I actually used the Expert. But I just never really bonded with it. It's a little heavy. It's a little too thick for me at times. I know some of the pens I use more are thicker. But for whatever reason, I just never really bonded with it. But I do appreciate the gift. It was lovely, and I'm very, very glad I own it. And I do wax and wane with it, but it's not exactly my cup of tea. Okay. I really got to move here, guys. Now, if you want to know what my cup of tea is, well, I guess it's Egyptian tea. Is there such a thing? Ah, yes. The Montblanc Egyptomania. Piston fill. Faceted. Shiny. A Egyptian cartouche. The Montblanc emblem. Stylized on the top. A beetle on the end of the clip. The most beautiful nib. I wish I could show you. It has a beetle, a winged beetle on it. A kind of a slick grip, but it's so small. You don't really grip it that way. You're kind of gripping it up here. It's a rather small pen. Is it open? Yeah, look at that. Gosh, I hope it's empty. Or it's going to get ink all over me. It wouldn't be the first time. Yeah, a little bit of ink in there. Beautiful, soft heritage nib. This one I bought after deliberating with my wife. I love everything Egyptian. I love this pen. I carry it all the time. I don't always film with it on the channel because I don't want to repeat myself too much, but I adore this pen. Oh, it's also kind of red. Do you see it? It's sort of reflecting reddish. It's interesting how the resin from Montblanc looks a little purpley red, little kind of winey red coming through with the light. But I adore this fountain pen. When I bought this, it was, I believe, $7.75, and I bought it from a pen shop in Europe, and I took advantage of the strong dollar at the time. The dollar is now almost dangerously devalued to the point where we'll soon might have like barrels of dollars to buy bread. No, it's not that bad, but it's, you know, it's hard now. The dollar is really weak against all the world currencies at the moment. But at the time, the dollar was very strong, and I was able to take advantage of that to purchase some pens in other countries. And it was also easier to buy things in other countries in those days. But absolutely fantastic pen. Okay, couple more. Could that be my pen? It could be. That could be. I love that pen. That pen made me happy. I stayed on point mostly tonight, which is pretty great. I do want to mention, if you missed it earlier, that on the 16th of February, I'll be on with the Juicy Broads with Vanessa and Lori. Super psyched. I'm sure it'll be fun. We're going to have a blast. Oh, gosh, guys, look at this. Let's take a look under the microscope. Look at that, huh? Pilot Custom Urushi. Incredible nib. Gorgeous pen. Same kind of bluish feed, which I love. Beautiful, beautiful fountain pen. Just one of my favorites. Con 70 converter. Would have been nice if it was piston fill, but I love this material. I love this pen. I love the way it writes. It's brilliant. I got this at Atlas's sidewalk sale from the lovely folks at Atlas. One of my most ambitious urushi pen purchases. Love this so much. This could easily be my only pen. Since last summer, it's been filled since I got it in August. So that's a lot for me considering how easily called away I am. This is a true Grail and an absolute beast. And I adore it, and it makes me happy. Ah, yes. So, some pretty fantastic Grail pens there. I want to say a few things now that we've discussed Grail pens and about whether or not they make you happy. The pen doesn't necessarily make you happy. It's kind of the writing and what it inspires you to do. And some of these pens are magnificent tools, and others are also, but maybe not for you. Maybe they don't quite suit your hand. Maybe that's the problem with me and the Visconti Homo sapiens Bronze Age, for instance. Or even the M1000, even though I love it, there's times I love to write with it. There's other times it sits in the pen case or it's in my vault at the bank. So it really depends. So that's kind of what makes you happy. So I want to say a few things. New video this week are my top 5 favorite fountain pens. I stripped away all artifice. I got to the essence of what I love, and I listed my top 5 favorites, which I need to watch myself so that I'm ready for maybe your criticisms. You guys might be like, you're crazy. That's your favorite pen? I know there's one on there that's very, very controversial. So I'm ready for that. Come at me. It's okay. I can take it. I'm a big boy. As Jack Burton said, hit me with your best shot, 'cause I can take it. Yes. And I think, you know what? There was one last thing. I really wanted to talk about Stranger Things before I went. How much time do I have? I have like a minute and a half. So, you know, Stranger Things just ended, and it got a lot of grief, and a lot of people were upset, and they said it was terrible and all this. And I'm not going to spoil it, so don't worry. But the one thing I really liked about Stranger Things, the first 3 seasons, it felt like the best show or movie from the 1980s. It felt like it's set in the 1980s, but it felt like it was produced in the 1980s. But they lost that in the 4th and 5th years. And that was sad. However, a lot of people didn't like the way it ended, but it ended. You know, you can quibble about how it was resolved and what happened, but at least it was resolved. People were comparing it to Game of Thrones, and I thought that was unfair because Game of Thrones was ridiculous. It ended as a parody of itself. Stranger Things lost its soul in a way because it lost feeling like it was made in the 80s. Like, it felt like it was made quicker. It looked more like a flat Netflix production, so you can watch it on your phone. But it had a satisfactory ending. You could quibble. Maybe it should have taken longer to do certain things. I don't care about that. It happened. Personally, I think it did okay. It's probably a B- or a C+. It ended satisfactorily. Okay? Very important that I talked about that. I don't know why. It's been bothering me, and I've been wanting to say it for a while. Okay. So anyway, hopefully next week we'll have better sound. Ecamm is always doing what it can to destroy my show. I really need to change my streaming service. But we did the best we could. The show went on. So I appreciate you all for being here. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful week. And check out the new video on Thursday. So take care and see you further up the road.